Sorry, station, you're just not quite strong enough. You're right in the noise of Milford, and that's the only copy I have. I'm only picking you up on the Milford SDR, and you're only about a half a dB above the noise level of Milford. Now, I just have a thought for you. Like I'm monitoring quite a large area of the United States here, plus my three local magnetic loop antennas, and you might think about maybe trying a different antenna, seeing if you might be able to get an antenna that is a little more efficient. And I would suggest a resonant dipole antenna. If you haven't tried one, a resonant dipole antenna will allow you to feed directly from your amplifier. You don't have to need a antenna tuner there, and it is a very efficient radiator, so maybe then I might be able to copy the mail on you. And I also admit that today is not a particularly good propagation day, so there it is. But again, with the amount of SDRs that we're running in the geographic locations that we're looking, I should be able to get some kind of copy on you, so think about that. I'll say 73 for now. Whiskey 8 Bravo Bravo Kilo, and if my signal comes up to you, you might try again before we wrap up at 5. But if it doesn't, then we'll be in the same situation. So I'll say 73 for now. We'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo.
November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo. And what's the name there?
November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo. And what's the name there?
This is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo, and we're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Roger Dave in Michigan, and radio that you're running, sir. What is it?
Roger Dave in Michigan, and radio that you're running, sir. What is it?
It's an Elecraft K3S, and at the moment I'm using a KPA 500 amplifier.
Roger that, sir. Roger that. Well, if you would be interested in a setup procedure, it starts with you verifying that you're in the 100 to 2900 transmit band pass mode. Roger.
2900 transmit band pass mode. Roger.
Roger. I think it's actually 100 to 2800 as the crystal. I've got an 8-pole crystal filter here for that transmit filter. Go ahead.
Oh, really? So you can't run, you can't manually put in 2900, 100 to 2900?
You can't manually put in 2900, 100 to 2900?
No, the 8-pole crystal filter here is a 2800 hertz filter, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, Roger. Okay, then move to your compressor, and we're looking for a third of that compressor capability. So that would be a compressor on and a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor input control is labeled.
Depending on how your compressor input control is labeled.
This is November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo testing. It's kicking up around about a third to maybe a half of the compressor.
All right, so we're just looking for a third of that. So again, do you have an input control for that compressor, and how's it labeled?
Do you have an input control for that compressor, and how's it labeled?
Yeah, I can turn it down a little bit. That's actually probably a little bit too far. Let me boost it just a little bit. It was at a 20 level, and I just kicked it down to about 17, and now it's kicking up around about a third on the scale. Go ahead.
Alrighty, let's hold that for now. I'll tell you what, give me a key for 3. Don't say anything, just key for 3, and let me hear what your compressor's doing.
Don't say anything, just key for 3, and let me hear what your compressor's doing.
Alrighty. righty, Dave. I think that's in good shape. So now let's move to your ALC with the mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in a QSO, don't stress it, just say it. Stretch it out, audio. Adjust that with your mic gain until your ALC reading is mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Until your ALC reading is mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger, roger. Audio. And we'll crank the mic gain up just a little bit. Audio. Now it's around about 2/3. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, your EQ sounds just beautiful. You got plenty of top end, so the intelligibility is there. I wouldn't change that. I would say you're pretty much good to go. I would like to hear you do about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system.
Do about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system.
Yes, okay, for sure. The antenna system here that I'm currently using is what was a dipole. It was the tree taken out. And so now it is in taken out, and so now it is in a inverted V with a 90-degree angle between the two legs. And so one leg is pointed southwest, the other is pointed southeast. So I would say it's a directional V now, mainly pointed south from here. Go ahead.
Roger, Dave. Now, I seldom ever in my whole life have said that you might have too much top end. I'm always a top end guy, you know, but I'm just thinking that it sounds like you might be pushing the top pretty hard at a lower frequency than what I would think might be applicable. So let's go to your EQ page if you have just a moment, and we'll see what you got here. Roger?
Just a moment, and we'll see what you got here. Roger?
Yep, I'm on the TQ, and I have, boosted the top end on this, essentially following Bob Heil's recommendations. I'm also using a Heil headset with an HC4, which has a rising characteristic in the element. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, what I'm primarily concerned about is that equalizers are made to balance the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. And if you push the mid-range, it's so much harder for the top to catch up and the bottom to catch up. So much so that even like the 7300, 7610, they don't even bother putting a mid-range control in their EQ. And I am, a staunch advocate of that. So I would think that what we want to do is make sure that everything from 500 cycles to 1.5K is flat. I don't know what if you have a 3-band EQ or what.
I don't know if you have a 3-band EQ or what.
Yeah, this EQ has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bands on it, and I can rattle them off for you here. 50 hertz is minus 16, 100 hertz is minus 14, 200 hertz is minus 4, 400 hertz is flat, 800 hertz is plus 2, 1600 hertz is plus 4, 2400 hertz is plus 8, and 3200 hertz is plus 12.
Roger. Now, is just another thought, is that, can you shift the frequency hinge points on those controls, or are they fixed frequencies?
The hinge points on those controls, or are they fixed frequencies?
Yeah, they are fixed frequencies. They're octaves.
Okay, so what I want to do then is make sure everything from 500 cycles to 1.5K are flat. Neither cut nor boost. From 500 cycles to 1.5K flat. Roger?
From 500 cycles to 1.5K flat. Roger?
Okay, what I ended up doing was I changed the 800 hertz from plus 2 to flat. Other than that, the previous one is 400 hertz and the next one is 1600 hertz, so it's outside of that range.
Okay, but 1600 is close enough. I would pull 1600 to flat.
Yeah, 1600 is close enough. I would pull 1600 to flat.
Okay, so 1600 is now flat. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, the frequency that you have around 2.7, 2.8, what's your top one?
2.8 is, what's your top one?
I have one at 2.4 and one at 3.2.
Okay, 3.2 plus 2, 3.2 at plus 2, and let's do a plus 2 at the one just below that.
And let's do a plus 2 at the one just below that.
Yeah, that's going to take quite a bit of that high end out, I'm afraid.
Okay, the thing that is kind of churning around there is something about around 1.5, right in there. It's just low enough to be in the mid-range, and it just sounds a little harried. So, you want to push it a little bit higher than that. Roger, Roger?
You want to push it a little bit higher than that. Roger, Roger?
You're saying to push the mid-range of the 1600 hertz a little?
1600, I would make that flat. I would make 1600 flat. Now, the ideal frequency is 2.7. That I have found 2.7 with a width of 4 is the ideal setup for the top end, 2.7. But what I'm doing now is trying to work a curve between the two frequencies that you have on either side of that. Roger?
Frequencies that you have on either side of that, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Well, right now the 2.4 and the 3.2 are both at plus 2, and I did have them cranked up higher than that before.
All right, take that, what is it, 2.4, is that it?
Take that, what is it, 2.4, is that it?
Roger, Roger.
All right, take that plus 2 from where it is, additional plus 2 from where it is, and then we'll work on the bottom end.
Where it is. Additional plus 2 from where it is, and then we'll work on the bottom end.
Okay, so the 2.4 is now at plus 4, and the 3.2 is still at plus 2, and then I have the mid-range all set flat, and the bottom end is pretty well just knocked out completely.
All right, so I want you to go to 200 cycles plus 4 from where it is. 200 cycles plus 4 additional from where it is.
200 cycles plus 4 additional from where it is.
Okay, that takes it from a minus 4 to flat.
Alrighty, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Alrighty, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Well, I can tell you the best thing I like about this radio is set up for the North American QSO party for tomorrow.
Just a little bit more, a little bit more audio.
Okay, for sure. This is about the best contest radio that I've ever used, and I really enjoy using them that I've ever used, and I really enjoy using the radio. I think Elecraft makes some really good radios. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, I think that's a lot better. You're not so pushed in the upper mids, but you have more syllabic range, which is really where the articulation is. If you start pushing that upper mids too hard, it starts to sound like it's cracking, Roger. And so we've got that pulled back just a little bit and emphasizing more the top end, upper top end of your treble control, which is up in the syllabic range, and that's where your articulation is, Roger.
Range, and that's where your articulation is, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I had done this, like I said, based on the curves that Bob Heil had published. What really wasn't talked about there was if I'm already using an HC4 element, which already has a rising characteristic in the high end. And so I figured that on top of the high end. And so I figured that on top of the the default EQ that I had set up in here was probably a little bit too much. Go ahead.
Roger. I would love to have a better signal on you. There's a lightning storm up around Milford at the moment, it sounds like, and so those crashes are forcing your audio level down between the hits. But I think we're doing pretty good, and like I say, we are recording this, and we'll be posting it up on YouTube by noon tomorrow, so just go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2200 Qso-Vlog aircheck recordings. Roger?
Series 2200 Qso-Vlog aircheck recordings. Roger?
Okay, all right. Well, great. I appreciate that. It'll be nice to essentially be able to hear what my signal sounds like for sure, and be able to also compare it with other stations as well. I listen to this in the headphones through the monitor, but that doesn't really tell me very much. Go ahead.
Roger. Now, keep in mind that I'm copying you on a Milford SDR, and Milford, like most other SDRs, are rolling off the bottom end somewhere around 300 cycles. So, keep that in mind. I've had you up. I've got a chevron on the right side of my screen that shows what audio I'm listening to, and it's showing 4 Internet SDR receivers plus my local receiver, and my local receiver is flat down to 100 cycles, and so I'm in that some of the time, but I don't have a really good signal. There's a spectrum analyzer on the set, and by way of explanation, it has 3 white marks on it. The furthest white mark to the left denotes 100 cycles. The closest right mark is 1 KC, then there's a black space, and then there's another white mark, and that's 4 KC. So it's 100 cycles on the left, and then 1 KC on the right, and then a black mark, which is 2 KC, and then another white mark, which is 4 KC, by way of explanation. Roger?
And then another white mark, which is 4 KC, by way of explanation.
Roger. Thank you. And and I've been watching your signal on the waterfall here. There's been a lot of QSB on the band, but when you are at your strongest, you're about 10 over 9 here. And I noticed that you have a very clean signal on the waterfall here. I see so many stations on these days that overdrive and splatter.
Roger. Well, we do the best. This is an older Yaesu 990, pretty highly modified. Roger.
Yaesu 990, pretty highly modified. Roger.
Roger. Well, and the waterfall is filled out well, as far as I can tell. I don't have it magnified greatly here, but on the spectral display here, I have it set so I'm seeing a 200 kilohertz slice of the spectrum from 7100 to 7300. So on the external monitor here, your waterfall is probably about 1/3 of an inch across or so. So I don't get to see a lot of detail unless I care to zoom in on it. Go ahead.
Roger that, Dave. I have a 7300 that I have been running occasionally along with the 990, and just for kicks, Roger, just listening to the two. In a lot of ways, my 990 is, I love that, but 7300 is technically probably a little bit better. Although I'm actually, if you're looking at the bandpass on a frequency meter, spectrum analyzer, I almost swear to God that the 7300 is a dB hot on the top end and a dB hot on the bottom end. That's what it's looking like to me.
The dB hot on the bottom end. That's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah, it could be, and like I said, I don't have this thing zoomed in all the way. Typically on signals, I like to get a much better overview of the band in general than to essentially zoom in down. I can zoom into this thing where less than a kilohertz occupies the entire screen.
Roger, Roger. So that's a K3S, is that a Roger?
Roger. So that's a K3S. Is that a Roger?
Roger. And the waterfall adapter is the Elecraft K3, Papa 3. And that I actually had obtained with my original K3, but I did upgrade to the K3S. The K3S has a 4-layer main board in it, so it's a much quieter radio all around, both on receive and transmit. There's less birdies in it and less other digital noise and hash that tend to get into the signal. And the Elecraft K3s are what our radio club here uses for field day and a multi-multi system, and we never get any phase noise problems or anything from these radios getting into the other radios at field day. So we've been they've been very good for us for that. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger, Dave. All right, sir. Sounding good. So let me get out of here. Time for me to take a rest. I'll say 73 to you, sir. And again, we'll have this uploaded on YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger.
We'll have this uploaded on YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. KC9VKV, N8SBE. Have a good weekend.
Roger, Roger, Dave, 73, sir. And with that, I see by the clock on the wall, there's a dead fly. Ooh, we got to get out of here. If you have participated, would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by today's, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So we got to get out of here, and we'll be returning this frequency back to normal amateur use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, clear.